coffee. And hot.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog.
It's not time.
You make me laugh.
I want to sleep a little longer. Come back in 15 minutes. I'm hitting the snooze button. I'm not feeling well. I don't want to get up. Good morning. Hello? Anybody there? Hello? Anybody there? Anybody there? All right, I'm going back to bed. Two. Did I say that too? Get out of my face. All right. Good morning, folks. It says up there, it says the best Tuesday ever, but it's really not the best Tuesday ever. I could think of better Tuesdays. When I wrote that, I was feeling good. I was feeling right. I was feeling all right. It was Saturday night, and it wasn't really Saturday night. It was like, well, it was. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning Saturday night. But I was feeling good. But I'm not feeling good now. I'm sorry to complain. I'm sorry to start the day off. If you wonder why I'm wearing the Dopey Groucho hat, it's because it's cold in here, and I'm keeping the heat in the roof. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Tuesday, February 13th, 2024, the day before Valentine's Day. We celebrate Valentine's Day, as you know. It's the day that St. Patrick scared the snakes out of the Tallahatchie Bridge or something. And when I wrote that best Tuesday ever, I was excited that Brendan Walsh would be on the program. Now, Ron Kane, there's no second banana or no chopped liver or no whatever else they say about things that are not wanted. He is definitely wanted. Ron Kane. I think Ron Kane should do a mock commercial. I'm not Dave Attell. I'm not running for anything. Dave Attell did not endorse this message, but I did. Something like that. Something along those lines. Anyway, we are expecting Brendan Walsh in the second hour today, and hopefully that will go smoothly. And everything will be the best Tuesday ever once again. If I could just get rid of this disease I keep getting, at some point, I'm just going to have to not do any gigs. I can't. I'm going to go out. They're going to put me in an isolation tank where I am performing away from the people so I can't get sick anymore. I'm too old to be taking chances. I'm too important for this world to be taking chances with my health, just to go play songs for people. But nobody else is getting sick. It's just me. I'm thinking maybe the HIV killed my immunity system. Maybe. I don't know. I have no immunity. If I'm within 100 miles of bacteria or viral things, I'm getting it, and I got it. Whatever it is, I got it. That's like a Groucho Marx thing, right? Maybe it's the hat. Whatever it is, I got it. Anyway, Jon Stewart made his return, his comeback tour on The Daily Show last night. I did not see it yet. I'm going to watch it today because I was in bed nursing with a NyQuil head, nursing this COVIDian mix of flu and whatever it is. I have not taken a COVID test yet. I don't think it's COVID. I had COVID a couple of weeks ago. It did not feel like this. This feels like a cold. But I said that then. I'm saying it again now. I will take a test today because if I have gigs this weekend and if I do have COVID, I'm not going out and infecting the whole world. I'm expecting this to be passed by the weekend. If it's not, I'm going to shoot somebody. That's right. I said I'm going to shoot somebody. What are you going to do about it, YouTube? Yeah, I didn't say who. What was it? Jon Stewart made his return to The Daily Show. The liberals are not happy about it. A lot of guys on the right are happy about it. It's weird. It's weird because Stewart has been an antagonist to the people on the right forever, and he still is. He's a very left-leaning guy. I mean, let's no bones about it. But the people on the left are not happy, and the people on the right are happy. Why? Because he had the audacity to say, you know, people are making a good point about Joe Biden. Listen, here's the point I want to make about this. Every day Joe Biden is in office, I have anxiety about what might happen. But so far, things have been pretty good. But every day Trump was in office, I had anxiety and things were pretty bad. That's the difference. And, you know, with Biden, if he, and I wish the Democrats would run somebody who's still alive, but they're not gonna because they're just stupid. But with Biden, you know, after 4 years, he's going to walk away. He's going to respect the Constitution and not run again. If he lives 4 more years, if he makes it through, he's done. If not, he's done anyway. Either way, Trump, I promise you, is not. 4 more years, he's going to. If he gets elected again, he's going to declare himself king and then just go until he dies. He's already said. And listen, he never makes good on his promises, but he always makes good on his threats. So there is a difference there. But so Stewart had the audacity to say, yeah, maybe they have a good point. Maybe they have a good point that Biden is a little bit not all there. Of course he's not all there. You're not going to be all there either when you're 80, 90. When you're 80 or whatever he is, 81. I don't know how old he is, 80, 81, somewhere around there. But you're not going to be there all there either. I'm not all there, and I'm 64. And you're not going to be all there when you're 64 either. You could think you are. You think you are. You arrogant son of a bitch. You unshaven bastard. So they have a good point. And listen, it's Stewart is his basic job at the end of the day is being a comedian and trying to make people laugh. But he didn't make people on the left laugh. He didn't make the people on the left laugh last night, and they're not happy with him. So fuck them. You can't please all the people all the time. You can't please half the people a quarter of the time. You can't please anybody anytime. I'm not pleasing you, am I? Speaking of people who are not going to please you, here's Willie. He doesn't please anybody. Well, he says he does. Listen, and wait, let GD say about his cup before you say anything.
Good morning. Is your cup empty?
All right, you can talk about it. No, forget it. I'm sorry.
Fill your cup with love. Buy 2 cups and make them a brusier.
Well, Willie had something really important to say. Well, no, and you interrupted him with your cup talk. I'm not feeling well. I'm sorry.
I have like a 100% conversion rate when it comes to. Never mind.
Conversion rates. We're talking conversion rates now. Willie's been studying marketing from Barry Katz or something.
Oh man, dude! I don't know if you want to talk about Barry Katz. GD might have
I have no issue. I have no issues about last night.
I think GD joined that just to be an antagonist to get Barry Katz. I think he's a troublemaker. Basically, GD is a born troublemaker. He's just looking to start fights with everybody and anybody. And I think it basically comes down to an insecurity issue. That's what I think.
I don't think Barry is insecure. It has nothing to do with that.
Oh, now you want to start a fight with me?
I'm just saying you're.
I agree to disagree. I disagree to agree.
Okay, we can agree to disagree.
Were you?
I never
were you in
Barry
the
was
thing
insecure.
last night, Matt? Were you like not just off camera or what? Oh
no,
man, yeah, no. Barry and GD had some FaceTime last night. Do you not know?
I listen. When the first time I saw GD join the thing, I knew there was going to be trouble. I know there's going to be trouble. He's got a chip on his shoulder. You don't see that fucking chip on his shoulder?
Listen. Barry took a bite out of that chip last night a little bit.
Oh well,
not really. Not
I'm
really.
well, I'll be the judge of that.
Okay.
I'm gonna watch the replay tonight, and I'll let you know if he took a bite out of that chip.
Okay.
But I could predict that was coming. There's no doubt about that's coming. There are people in that room that I know. A lot of people join that or either past guests, past contributors to the show,
Yeah.
or part of it. One person I noticed who has been part of that whole thing is Victoria Arnstein. You guys familiar with Victoria Arnstein? Has she been on?
Yes,
Yeah.
I gave her your contact information to be on the
No,
show.
she has my contact information.
Oh, okay. I did not know who.
We hate each other.
Oh, okay. I have no idea. Look, I don't know. I don't know who these people
I'm surprised
are.
you talk civilly to her. She is the world's biggest Trumper. Like she is like, and
I didn't know that.
Oh my God. I mean, she would lick Trump's balls in public in Macy's window,
Okay.
and anal sex him, whatever.
Okay, but we weren't talking politics. We were talking comedy.
No.
And
Yeah.
Well, how comedy is all about how much she loves Trump.
Okay. She never did anything funny on the show. I mean, she never did any of her comedy on the thing. So maybe she knows the audience. I don't know.
I put a note in the chat. Somebody else was talking about a project that they had, and somebody I got a message, like a personal message from somebody from that person in the group of like they really liked my note and they asked my permission to like use it in their thing, and I was like, definitely, like of course.
What was it? What was the note?
They were talking about they're doing like this skit for this hoarder thing or whatever, and they had some feedback that it's kind of punching down because hoarding is like a real disorder or whatever, and to make fun of what happens with hoarders, like it is sort of punching down. And so I said the trick to punching down is softening the blow, right? And so like if you're gonna make fun of a hoarder,
I would like to say that's also the trick to snorting cocaine is softening the blow.
That's true. That's true. You gotta bring it up.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but I couldn't help it. I'm rude that way.
So I told her, I said, listen, the premise behind it was the person is the person that's a hoarder is also like an Amazon product evaluator or whatever. Like
I get it. I'm Amazon influencer.
A hoarding problem, but I said the way you make that funny is that what they're hoarding is the bubble wrap, and they keep it in a room that they have to use all the time. So they got to like constantly go in and out of this room that's just walled bubble wrap everywhere. I'm like, that would be hilarious.
Wow, that's good. I like it. So Ron Kane is here. I want to play a quick commercial, and then we'll bring Ron Kane in. How's that? Does that work with you guys?
Sure. Well, you could bring him in during the commercial, before the commercial.
No, why would we do
Ron
that?
Kane do the voiceover for the commercial.
Why would we do that? Let's give Willie a little boost up. You gotta, people out there, get on Neo Luminar. If you're, it is so easy to manipulate. What?
It's Luminar Neo.
Oh, whatever. I'm sick, damn it! I tell you, I'm sick.
I'm just trying to help.
All right, Luminar Neo Luminar, whatever. It's better than Photoshop. It's easier than Photoshop. You can do actually more with less skills, and you don't have to. It doesn't take any time to learn. It's a great program. It's cheaper than Photoshop. If you got any for marketing or you need to manipulate photos, this is the app you want to get. And the link is in the description. It's also on the homepage. And blah 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 blah.
Well,
I'm not Dave Attell. I'm not running for office, and Dave Attell did not approve of this. But Ron Kane did, and Ron Kane is here. Good morning, Ron Kane.
Morning. How you doing?
Oh, I love that background where you are. You look like Mr. Live Streaming Professional.
Bro,
Yeah, I know.
Would you do breaking into somebody's house to shoot this?
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. I'm
in Florida.
I'm in my wife's cousin's living room currently.
Oh, I thought you were in Florida. No.
Yeah, I'm in Florida.
Oh, okay. So how's that
His
going?
relatives are allowed to live out of state. They're not restricted to Pennsylvania.
Right.
Exactly. So far so good. I had a show on Saturday, 2 shows over in Oldsmar, Florida. So that went really well.
Great.
And I have a show tonight in St. Petersburg at St. Pete Brewing at 8:00.
Nice. Nice.
We may have to cancel tonight's York thing because it's snowing a lot up here.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Is it summertime there? You got summertime?
When we were in Jacksonville last week, it felt like fall almost.
Wow.
It was like 60s during the day. But once we got over here, we're in like the Dade City area outside of Tampa. It's been pretty nice here. It's been like 75, 80 degrees.
Oh, poor things.
Yeah, I know. It's fantastic.
I woke up to 4 inches of snow, but now it's raining, and it's going to become 4 inches of water, of rainwater. It's going to be a mess, and they're calling it a nor'easter. But I ordered a sou'wester, but they never deliver the right thing.
With a side salad.
Yes, that's right. Anyway, so yeah, good for you, man. Your tour's going well, and now the crowds there are they tourists or are they people down snowbirds going down there, or is it locals that you're performing for?
I think most of it appears to be locals that I've performed for. I think I'll probably know better tonight because of where I'll be, because I'll be right in St. Petersburg. So we'll see. But the whole scene down here is it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I think it's the scene feels better than, let's say, Austin, because I was out in Austin twice last year, and between all the conversions of comics that are there, comics that are down there, and just the oversaturation in that area.
I experienced it with the music scene in Austin in the 90s. Everybody was, oh, you got to go to Austin, South by Southwest in Austin. By the time I got there, it was too late. It was already wall-to-wall musicians and bands and stuff. And now it's the same thing with comedy. Austin has a history of being, you got to get there first to capitalize on it, or it's just, you're going to just become more noise down there.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. But like I said, the scene here, like the Jacksonville scene was a little weird just because Jacksonville kind of just feels like Harrisburg or almost like Baltimore somewhat, the way it seems.
So you got a good deal on crack.
Yeah.
Well, we've had a number of comedians on from Jacksonville. I think different times a year you might experience something different there, because what they've told me is there was a lot of opportunity, a lot of opportunities going, not necessarily comedy clubs, but a lot of these brewery type deals and whatever, different kind of rooms, alternative comedy rooms, opportunities down there in Jacksonville. So maybe
I could see that, and especially in this area, it seems kind of like ripe for opportunity.
Right.
It is a better scene so far.
Right. How long have you known G.D. Fenderson for?
6 years, probably.
Have you ever noticed that chip on his shoulder?
Oh yeah, he's always been an asshole, so that's all right.
No, I get it.
Now, see, this is okay. Ron and I've been friends for a long time, and when I met Ron, I was not an asshole. I was an ass wipe. Okay. Once I got to hang around with Ron, I got to learn the finer ropes of being an asshole from being around. Then I became an asshole once I learned how to be an asshole. But I was an ass wipe in the beginning. It's okay to admit,
What is the specific difference between an ass wipe and an asshole? I'm very curious.
Really, if you don't know anything about ass,
You don't know anything about assholes.
yeah.
No,
I'm
I'm just wondering what the difference is with GD. I mean, listen.
I can explain the difference. The asshole is that little shrinted thing where the brown comes out. The wipe is the thing that comes by and scoops it out
and cleans it.
Yes, cleans it. Well, unless you're Brett Erickson, then you have a bidet.
An ass wipe is very necessary for ass eating. I mean, I like to use an ass wipe before some ass eating. That's for sure.
See, again, you're making a lot of assumptions about how efficient of a wipe I was. I could have just been smearing. I appreciate you thinking that I did a good job at it, but I could have just been smearing. But I'll take the compliment.
No,
that's usually has more to do with the consistency of the poop. Really.
Again, I'll take the compliment.
You're really gonna kill me here. So listen, I'm not well to begin with. Don't be going down the ass eating
dude,
highway.
I'll tell you what, nothing will upset my wife faster than telling her about my bowel movements. I tell you that, that's for sure.
Oh my goodness.
So Ron, last time you were on the show, I made a public offer to any woman down there. I offered them $40 if they could ruin your marriage. Is your marriage still intact?
As far as I know.
Okay.
What do you?
As far as I know.
Now for Valentine's Day, are you a romantic? Are you gonna do something special for the lady?
Probably not.
My wife gave me explicit instructions: do not do anything crazy.
Yeah, we've never really been that way. Like, oh, we got to do something for Valentine's Day or some shit like that. And especially, I mean, when is that? Yeah, I guess tomorrow. So
yeah,
we got things to do tomorrow. So probably not.
It's kind of a funny day if you're a Catholic because it's Ash Wednesday and Valentine's Day. So you're gonna take your wife out to dinner with a big smudge of dirt on your head.
Tomorrow will be Ass Wednesday.
That's what I said.
No, ass.
Yeah, and my wife is a dirty Catholic, so she will be going to do the whole ash thing tomorrow too.
Yeah. So I abstain. Not ass stain, abstain. Yeah.
And ass stain is something different.
Valentine's Day is a tricky holiday for me these days because I don't know if you know this, but my wife number 2 and I, we got married on Valentine's Day. And so like it's the anniversary of a failed marriage now also. So it makes it.
You're not a really good strategist. You should have thought that out before you actually did that.
Well, probably at the time it was like, oh, this will be so romantic. We'll be married on Valentine's.
No, I didn't. I did it because that way I was like, I'll never fucking forget now. There's no
you did it because there was a shotgun right here.
What our anniversary is.
You know how many other holidays there are that you could remember?
Like the day was all about her because everybody was celebrating our anniversary. You know.
Well, my first marriage was on Hitler's birthday, so that didn't bode well.
Hang on a second.
Which is when April 20th,
right?
420.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Because there's
this whole thing about 419 and 420 that is online about. Somebody started a Reddit thing. They should make 419 and 420 like the 13th floor in a hotel. Like you just pass it, so you go from 418 to 421 because of all the bad things. That
like house numbers and shit like that. Like there's some communities where it's very difficult to find 420 house numbers nowadays.
Or cities that have 13th Street.
They won't.
Yeah, there are a lot of hotels that don't have a 13th floor. Or at least didn't have a 13th floor.
Right. Isn't that what I just said?
Well, they do. They just call
you said houses. I think you said houses without 13 doors.
Did I? No, did I? I don't know.
Or dressers without 13 drawers.
It could be. It could be the COVID sinking in. A COVID brain. But I think I said the right thing. I think it's just that
You
chip
said you
on your
don't even
shoulder.
have COVID. You're
It's
sick
the
with something
covidity.
else. You said.
No, I have
HIV.
COVID brain.
Story.
I have long COVID brain. I don't think I have COVID.
From COVID when the last time you were sick.
Yeah, it's long COVID brain.
I wouldn't know. I've still yet to. I've not gotten COVID.
I think I've had it more than anybody on the planet. I think if I don't have it now, I think the total will be like 7 times. If I have it now, that's 8 times. But
you're an overachiever.
I am.
You're an overachiever.
I'm like the COVID poster child.
I gotta say, I think what you need to do is you need to take more risks. So because like germs get into my body and they're like, this guy's fucking crazy. We don't want to live here. You know what I mean? Like
that's because you've been all the fucking meth that is left over and other.
I mean, I don't know that I feel like the shelf life on any meth I did is long since gone. I mean, it's been over 20 years since I did meth.
All right, let me just put this out there.
Since I've done meth.
Out of the 3 comedians in the room, Ron Kane is the best comedian in the room. Let's argue about that. Come on.
Okay. No, I'm not going to argue about it. I'll just say, Ron,
but I saw the chip just grow.
Yeah,
the chip just went boom, boom.
Sorry about that. It's the Viagra. So, Ron, your material is a little bit on the dark side. So, is it still flying? Is it going well in the Florida area? Does your brand of humor go across state lines as far south as Florida?
Yeah, so far it has. I got a lot of compliments after I performed, and they're like, "Hey, this is kind of dark, but it was funny." And it's some of I went to a couple mics. I checked them out too, and it was kind of. Some people seem surprised that people still do jokes nowadays instead of just getting up there and ranting. So that seems
do crowd work.
Yeah, for sure. And like the show that I did on Saturday, they threw me to the wolves. It was so weird. I was doing the guest spot, but they had me go first before the host, which was really strange.
That's really strange.
Yeah.
I've never had that happen.
Some South Dakota shit.
Yeah. And I went. I did great, and but yeah, Florida so far seems to be handling it. So we'll see.
Yeah. Do you give him some advance note? Because I was talking about, I think yesterday, that Anthony Jeselnik, that people go to him and they know he's a dark comedian. They're expecting that. And so they're totally prepared for that, and they actually want that. And every time he even starts a joke, you're expecting, like, where the fuck could this go that's going to be really dark and ugly and make me feel dirty for listening to it. But if you're not prepared for it, it can be a little off-putting. If you're not prepared for dark comedy, it can be like, wow, that was really that was really terrible. Do you advertise yourself? Do you prepare for that in any way?
No, I usually just come out and sometimes I ease them into it, or sometimes I'll just come out and hit them with the sledgehammer.
Ron used to say, this is like early in his career, I think he said something like, yes, I'm a Christian comic. But I can't remember if that's like after you do like 1 or 2 really dark jokes, and then you ascribe,
Yeah, that was I used to do this joke. It's like I would come out and I would just say, "Hey, I'm a Christian conservative comic." And then that would automatically get people's like, "What's going on here?" And then I'd be like, "Hey, I don't do jokes about abortion because that's what stairs are for." And and so that kind of set the tone early on. But like I said, I haven't done that joke in, I don't know, a couple of years.
But I remember, I listened.
Yep.
We're friends. Even if you don't like my comedy.
No, that's not what we get.
I want to ask you a question, Ron. If so you're while traveling in Florida, when you do open mics, do you work on new material, or do you kind of show out a little bit?
kind of in the beginning when I kind of do a mixture of both.
Right.
Sometimes it depends if there's an audience there or not.
Right. Sure.
If it's all comics, then maybe I'll lean more that, hey, I just want to try stuff. But then if I see there's an audience and I'm in a new area, at least I want to give them some decent jokes instead of just coming up there. I want
Give them a
something
little
so they
taste
can
of what you are. Yeah.
yeah, and hopefully remember, and
Yep.
so I like to have a good mix if I can.
When you went up before the host, did you stick around for the entire show, or did you leave early?
No, I left because there was 2 shows, so I stuck
Yeah.
around for the entire first show, and the show was pretty good.
I just wondered how much do you listen to the other acts up and any commentary? And listen, I don't want you to bash your colleagues, but I have just too many people talking about the same fucking subjects over and over again. It's all because you know me, I watch a lot of comedy, but even like on YouTube stuff, like people, this Taylor Swift thing is never gonna fucking go away, and people making jokes about that, like it's overdone. Like that's one premise. If I were a comedian, I would tell, and even if I were working with other comedians, I'd say, stay off the fucking same things that everybody else is doing. It just gets to be like an echo chamber in here. Do you notice a lot of people doing the same current event or topical, stupid topics that come up over and over again?
Maybe sometimes more topics. I think you see that more at mics, where it's just a lot of repetition on the same thing. I mean, I think, yeah, it's tough unless you have like a really good premise for something that's going on, or maybe a good line. It depends. Because some, like the way I write, I won't automatically just jump on something a lot of times. Maybe I will if I'm inspired and like there's a joke there that I feel, but then yeah, like you were saying, is there's just so many things that comic after comic could touch on and kind of retread it and things like that.
Right.
Because there was a guy at that show who had a bit, and it was about ass eating, and I didn't do any ass eating material in my first set.
Oh,
and,
first set.
And I'm glad I didn't because of that. And in my second set, I stayed away from it too.
Oh, well then, thank you. Listen, ass eating might have been funny the first 5 billion times it was done, but every is doing ass eating.
You mean as an activity or as a joke?
Both.
Both.
Oh, okay.
Well, honestly, I've never had it done. I've never seen it done. I've never done it. Well, I shouldn't say I've never seen it done. The other day,
I just want you to know that's why you're not a fan.
Yeah. Fine.
It's the first time somebody licks your asshole, it changes your perception of it entirely.
No.
But it doesn't mean it changes it for the better, though.
No, it would put me behind bars because they'd be murdered, and I would be.
Hang on a second. I just want to mention that, like, the first time my ass got ate,
you told us this whole story. Yeah, you said this story. We've heard it. We've heard that. We've heard the.
Bro, you may think that it would gross you out.
No, I would kill the person because I never want to smell their stinky ass eating breath again. All right, good. We put that to rest.
So, Ron, are you using other people's toothbrushes while you're on the road?
No, just mine.
I wanted to say I have seen ass eating done the other day by accident. I turned on Twitter the other morning, and on the phone version, all I got was porn. I started out by seeing what I thought was a blowjob, and I'm like, this has got to be a joke. The girl's not really giving a blowjob. And then she pulls this fucking cock out of her mouth, and she starts slapping herself in the face with it. I'm like, wow, this is fucking porn. And I kept scrolling, and there was more porn and more porn. And then this guy eating fucking ass, and I was like, what's going on with Twitter? What the hell? I didn't do this. Like, and I complained to Elon Musk, like, what? But by the time I got into here, it had been off Twitter. But I was like, what the fuck? Somebody hacked into Twitter and made it a porn site.
Or Elon Musk let his personal Twitter account leak
That
out.
personal feed out. Yeah.
Yeah, and his personal feed got out. It's like he's like, I'll have to fix this. So
I have to
Yeah,
say, the guy who was eating ass looked like he was really enjoying it. I have to
that's
say,
all. That's all I use Twitter for mainly anyway is porn.
I've never seen porn on before the other day, and I haven't seen it since, and I'm thankful for it. Yeah, porn bores me. Porn is boring. It's what I'm an old
There's so
fashioned
many
guy.
thirst traps out there, though. So
Yeah.
many.
Yeah, but yeah. So I think boring. I think that we have come to a situation where there is so much content, so much entertainment that it's really hard not to get bored. Which is why we're getting sucked into this 30-second reel, 60-second reel stuff. It's just there's so much stuff. There can only be so many premises in comedy. There can only be so many grooves in music, all this kind of stuff that it gets boring. And then and Brendan Walsh is our next guest. We've talked about this in the past about how you just look for something to make yourself laugh, because trying to make other people laugh with the same fucking premises over and over again, it just gets boring as an entertainer, as a creator. I don't know where you go from here. How do you make yourself laugh? How do you find yourself? Because you're using material that works, but at some point you even get bored with your own material. How do you keep it fresh for yourself and make yourself laugh?
Yeah, I do get bored sometimes with my own material, but yeah, I don't know. It's just like little things make me laugh, and just people watching is always fun because it's always
Yeah,
interesting to see how people interact in the world. And
right.
so, like for me, I find like comedy just comes in like those little moments, and you gotta be uh, like trying to actually live your life and living in the moment and see the shit that's happening in front of you. And
Right.
so I think for me that's what keeps me going. But
Uh,
Now,
like you were saying, with there's so much content out there and things like that. Like for me, because I do stand up, and if I see a stand up clip come up, a lot of times I just keep moving because it's like I don't want to see this anymore.
yeah.
Or even like crap. Uh, like I'm seeing a lot less crowd work clips, which I'm very happy about.
yeah.
But like a year ago, I think that was at its peak, and it was horrible. It was
Yeah.
horrible. Like every other reel was like, well, let's do crowd work.
I have to
That's
agree. I'm not seeing, but I'm pretty choosy about the comedy. I I get fed because the algorithm knows me very well. I get fed like comedy clips after a comedy clip in those reels and stuff. There are certain people who I just will go right past, and so maybe they're doing crowd work and I don't notice it. But I tend to go with people I already know I like. The problem
yeah,
is I get the same joke like two in a row, just different edits of the same joke, and that pisses me off. It's like,
yeah, I
yeah,
hate that.
yeah,
yeah. I think
Now,
there was
I have a question.
there were like
We,
just when we were talking about so much content. I think there was a stat that was just released by Spotify saying that only like 10% of what's online on Spotify is listened to,
right.
and the rest of it is just it's out there. It's
wow.
it's so much fucking noise.
Yeah, like my
Fucking
And
A.
songs.
yeah,
and
and
that
there's like
songs.
I think it's something like 10,000 songs a day are
Oh,
released.
I think more than that. I think it's
Yeah,
more. Yeah, it's
but
ridiculous.
that's a
And
shit ton.
I got
I wanted
and
to
go ahead, Willie.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, Ron. So, when you get bored with material, like you say you do sometimes, because it happens to me sometimes, do you take that opportunity to try and like rework the material at all, and like kind of like keep your punchline, but find a different way to work into it, find a different way to transition? Because like that's kind of what I catch myself doing when I become bored with a particular bit, especially if it's a good bit. Like I don't want to dump the bit, but so I just start reworking how I get into it or what I relate it to. Or do you do any of that?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'll like especially if I'm working something and maybe I'm tired of it and it's doing okay and maybe it needs work. Maybe I'll just stop doing it for a bit and kind of like walk away from it and come back to it at a later time. So I try and do stuff like that to keep things interesting for me. Then sometimes I force myself to doing comedy different than if I feel like I'm getting a little lax or a little stale. I'll just try different things to mix it up, you know. So I try and have a good mix of everything, but yeah, it can be tough sometimes because you just sometimes you reach walls and you're like, maybe I just need to stop doing this for a bit.
Right.
That's I've done that probably 100 times over the last 50 years. Is in the middle of a gig, telling myself, "This is my last gig. This is it. I'm done." And then the next day, I got another gig, and I'm there. But
And I'm
yeah,
there.
it happened. I mean, I'm being conservative if I say 100 times. It's happened a million times. It just it gets so fucking boring, especially because we used to do three, 3 shows a weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then we would do 2 on Sunday, and we play 4-hour gigs. Sometimes they go into 5-hour gigs, and you play the same songs twice in one day or 3 times in one day. It's like, oh Jesus, man! Got to be something that I could do with my life that's more productive than this.
Well, I know when this is back when I was in college. Those 2 weeks I was in college, I was one of those weeks I spent on the beach, and we had a bunch of guitarists out there. We were doing like a jam session, and we were taking requests from girls, pretty girls in bikinis, as they walked by, and that's the night I learned to hate Eagles Hotel California. Because if you ask me without me thinking, I will say we played that song 50 times that night. Now I know that's not possible because we also played 2 other songs, but so there wasn't enough time to play it 50 times a night. So we probably only played it 7 times that night. But that was the night I hated Hotel California because like every once in a while a girl would go and say, "Do y'all know Hotel California?" And I'll be like, one of the guitarists thinking, "I got a shot with that." Yeah, we know Hotel California. And they're like, "I'll sing lead this time because he's the one trying to get into her panties."
Right.
I understand the hatred, not the hatred, but the not wanting to. I haven't played it since. That was like 1980 or 81. I have not played Hotel California since.
Wow. I have our bass player will not play a single Billy Joel song, even at gunpoint.
I don't even own an Eagles CD. Matter of fact, I went to look for one because because I was asked to do some music. My wife asked me to do some music for a retirement party, and the guy whose party it is, their favorite bands are the Eagles, Supertramp, and Pink Floyd. So I went downstairs to see what I'm going to have to get off the line because I have like lots of Supertramp, but I don't have any Eagles, and I think it's because of.
No, it's because you watched that movie. What was the movie? Oh, the Big Lebowski. I hate the fucking Eagles, man. You don't know that movie? The dude abides.
I know the movie. I've never seen the movie.
Oh, you got to see the movie.
I got called the dude on Saturday actually. Yeah. I totally did that, and I was it touched my heart. I was very happy. I was like, dude, that's awesome.
The dude. Okay. I just want to shout out to Lori S. Strikingly Hilarious. She wrote me last night that she's doing nursing home gigs now because of my suggestion that you get into that. And listen, I know a lot of people. It's great practice and it's money, and there is no way to really, no better way to really up your game than to do it consistently. And so that provides an opportunity, even if you don't love the audience is half dead sometimes in a coma. It's still an opportunity to get out and practice.
While you're performing.
Yeah, and get paid for it. So I recommend that to everybody. But that TD just reminded me of that with the Eagles Hotel California. There's a guy who plays the nursing homes that I play, and I got a call the other day from a rec director because she knew I know this guy, and she said, Can you stop him? I was like, what do you mean stop him? She's like, he's riffing out. He's playing Freebird with a looper to 90-year-olds in a coma, and he's just doing guitar riffs. He's not reading he's not playing any of the stuff that you would play for nursing home people, and he's doing like the extended version of Freebird. I was like, how do you want me to stop him? Should I call him on the cell phone and say, Dave, I just got a report? Oh, sorry, I just said his name. Dave, should I?
Yeah, but you didn't say his last name, which is.
Yeah, well, no, he knows now. Everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Attell?
Everybody in the. No.
David
Yes, his last name is David Attell. All right, I'm off of that. Anyway, so yeah, it is difficult with the boredom. Now you don't mix it. You don't try to update your material live on stage in the moment of boredom, do you? I mean, you're feeling like this gig is boring me. I'm going to try something different right here, right now. Do you do that on the spot or?
No, I haven't really had like boredom wise, but if I
Wait, I want to do this because you guys have this kind of similar backgrounds here. It's just so cool.
I don't know if I get bored like that, but sometimes if they're not giving me what I feel like they should be, then sometimes I'll twist it and I'll make my set go a little darker.
Right.
Just because I find that fun and hilarious to me.
Yes.
I'm looking at the two of you, their backgrounds. It's kind of like rustic home invasion.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like not just the hoarders. It's kind of like like the preppers. It's like Doomsday Preppers podcast here.
Yeah, I got to bring in my 50 cans of applesauce here in a second.
Yeah.
So is Laura getting a lot of shopping done, or you got tight clamp on the finances while you're down there?
Well, we've been pretty busy. I mean, between pool, because she plays pool, and then comedy. Then she works during the week. So we've been pretty busy, like every day.
Do
you ever look like the dude?
Like your wife, like plays in tournaments or whatever. She's saying on Saturday I did.
Oh
yeah, she I took the night off last night, and there's a tournament 20 minutes away from us that she went to play in yesterday.
8-ball or 9-ball?
She plays both 8, 9.
That's 17 for those of you who are counting.
Yeah. 17 ball.
Yeah, she's a pretty good pool player. She won last year and got to go to Vegas for the APA tournament.
Do you play?
No kidding.
I play, but not like in tournaments or anything or in leagues, because I don't have the time or patience for the way they run things. And it's like I got to focus on comedy.
I haven't played pool in 40 years. Easy. Probably longer.
When you say the way they run things, do you mean haphazardly? Because every pool tournament that I've ever seen is just kind of thrown together.
They seem like the tournaments so far haven't been too bad, but the league nights are the worst because she's got to get there if she wants to practice between 6 and 6:30, and they start at 7. And a lot of times when they're playing, it's only one table. So sometimes, if you stay around for everyone to play, you could be there until it's like a 5-hour event.
Yeah, it's long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Florida is.
You get to practice your material, though. You can go from table to table and tell jokes. Have a new crowd each time.
Yeah, that's a good tactic. Distract them so that they're not as focused.
So many people who from up here who were clubbers in New York, Long Island area have gone down to Florida and now working more than ever. Are you tempted to think about transplanting down there and moving from Pennsylvania down to Florida at all?
It wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. I got to see what the scene like is like downtown, but like from what I've seen so far, like comedy wise, I like it so far.
Yeah, I know. I tried. I would be down there. I moved down there. I made an attempt to move down to Key West 12 years ago, 13 years ago or something. My wife won't let me do it because our grandson is here. But there's so much opportunity, and it's better to wake up in the sunshine and it's warm. It's just for me, it was just like, you know what? It's always a party down here because they're always bringing in people who are ready to party, rather than you have to deal with 6 months of dread up north.
Here's something to consider, because mainly because of global warming. If there's like flooding in New York, you may have like a body or two floating by. If there's like flooding in Pennsylvania, there's definitely going to be like meth and stuff. But if there's flooding in Florida, gators, you're going to have fucking gators in your yard, okay? I'd rather not have to explain to my wife why the cat was out swimming in the front yard during a flood because I left the door open and a gator got it. I don't want to have that conversation.
I have a unique position in flood because I'm at the
deal with that in New York. So I'm asking you to consider that before you move to
well, I'm not allowed to move, so I don't. There's nothing to consider. I have to die here. This is my wife's rule. I must die here, and hopefully the sooner the better.
Sounds like she's trying to cure you. Sounds like you're halfway there.
Yeah, the sooner the better. That's what I just said.
The neighbor right across from here, they actually have 2 alligators for pets. They keep them outside.
Those aren't pets.
I had a friend in Ralph Dice Clay had a pet alligator in his house, and it was like 12 feet long. It was huge.
No,
yeah.
No.
Are they? No. What color are these people? I'm just curious.
Oh, they're white.
Oh, they're fucking white.
No, I didn't. I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to stereotype or profile.
Fucking racist bastard! Get off my show, you racist fuck. We can't have any fucking racism on here.
In my heart, I knew they were white, but I just need to hear somebody else.
You don't have a heart. Don't lie.
I have a chip. Okay, in my chip, I knew they were.
There was a video on Twitter yesterday of an alligator, a huge alligator, jumping on a boat with 2 redneck white guys, and the guy in the front is in his socks on the bow of the boat, and he's trying to box the alligator. The other guy is trying to throw the alligator back in the water using his tail, but the one guy is like trying to box with him and kicking at him, and he's got bare feet on him. Like, dude, you're just gonna lose a foot. The guy didn't manage to throw him overboard and get him back in the water, but you're fucking redneck, so you never know what to expect.
That's what happens when you use Budweiser for bait. When you're, that's it. You drink half your bait and you're crazy. That's it. No.
What do you got to say, Willie? Yeah, you wanted to say something?
I mean, thing number one you do when an alligator gets in your boat is hold its fucking mouth closed. That's thing number one. Like, get on its fucking mouth, make sure it's closed.
True, because they don't have the strength. Their muscles are geared toward closing and not opening. So
if its mouth is closed, fucking make sure you fucking get on top of that so it can't open its fucking mouth.
So you throw something at it, like maybe a sock, maybe a beer bottle.
Yeah, so it'll bite down on it or whatever.
Right,
yeah,
and then bites down, and then you hold the mouth closed. That takes minimal effort.
I wish I could find that clip because I could show it to you. I don't think the guy was in a position to do that, but it just seems to me how Willie loves to think about fighting wildlife.
And look, sometimes you just need to prepare, right, Willie? Sometimes you just need to prepare.
It's being mentally prepared, bro. If you don't have a plan in your mind in that moment of fucking panic, you're not gonna fucking know what to do, and you're just gonna be an idiot kicking your fucking feet at an alligator. But if you spend time thinking about how you would, do something in such a scenario, then you have a chance that your panicky brain might actually come up with the right fucking thing to do in the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Give
I'm looking
yourself
for
a
this
chance.
clip. I can't find it. There's this crazy clips on Twitter, which is all people fighting and ridiculous fights and crazy shit. And I was thinking it might be on there where I saw it, but it's not there. I would love to, because I don't think the guy was in a position to jump on it and get the mouth shut. The way it was positioned on the boat, I think. Oh, God, fighting a fucking kangaroo. Oh, kangaroo fucking ass raping a dog. Oh my God.
Oh my, what?
There's a video of a kangaroo ass raping a dog.
Is the kangaroo white? I'm just asking.
How's that even happening?
I'm just saying it's. I don't know that the kangaroo is white.
I bet you that kangaroo
deep down in my chip.
And we're not going to kink shame what you're into. Don't worry.
Right now, wow. Matt's like his search engine.
Well, let me bring it back to the top here.
I'm gonna punch your fucking head in. Look at my dog.
And then the kangaroo grabbed the camera. Like, don't tape me fucking this dog in the ass.
Look at my dog.
Look how fucking jacked they look. Like,
yeah.
I will. Kangaroo is like one of the only animals that I'm actually legitimately scared of.
They're like deer with attitude.
Yeah, well, they're like a deer with like Arnold Schwarzenegger muscles and attitude.
They're like fucking like if a deer fucking did roids, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they're like deer looking for a bar fight. You know. If deer looking for bar fights, they would be kangaroos.
Reed says he would rather wrestle a gator than an orangutan.
Orangutans are super fucking strong.
Super
strong and super vicious.
Fucking face off.
With the gator, once you got the mouth closed, you just have to avoid the claws and the tail after that. But
I think Willie should consider doing a animal fighting show? An animal fighting, like every episode, you're just going to fight a different animal. Start with like a hummingbird because that's easy.
Always those Russians fighting bears.
That's how Vladimir Putin got started. But that bear took a dive. I'm pretty sure that bear regrets it because that gave Putin the confidence to take over Russia. Had the bear won, like
I thought Russia was the bear.
No, you're thinking of the women. So let me just see. Not all of their women. Some of the women are very beautiful. 3 of them. So what? Why y'all looking at me like that?
Because Russia is known as the bear, right? Russia is.
Yes. The hammer and the sickle and the bear. Yes. But I'm talking about the wrestling match between Putin and the bear.
All right.
As opposed to Smokey and the BJ and the bear. Is that what it was called? BJ and the bear?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who would give a bear BJ anyway and then put it on television? That's another situation. I don't know.
How is this about Ron Kane? Ron Kane is our guest today, and you're talking about BJs and bears.
Well, everybody knows Ron's a furry, not furry. I mean, you can see it. Yeah,
he's furry. Yeah, he's what they call a bear in the homosexual community.
So, did anybody ever mention to you at comedy gigs that you resemble David Tell at all? Do you get that at all, or am I the only asshole who does that to you?
No, it happens from time to time. I'm so used to it. It doesn't matter at this point.
And I don't see it. Honestly, I don't see it. I guess I've just known you too long. But I look at you and I just see Ron Kane. I don't see David Tell.
Yeah. Oh. So it's
I look at you and I see Tracy Chapman.
I can see Tracy Chapman when I see Ron. Yeah, I can look at Ron and see Tracy Chapman. But
I'm sorry,
I don't see David Tell.
That's a totally racist, homophobic thing for me to say.
Well, that's okay. One comedian kept calling me Billy Ocean, and I remember the last time I saw Billy Ocean's face was back when Caribbean Queen was a thing. Yeah, I had no idea. Yeah.
You mean it was a hit? It wasn't a thing. It was never a thing.
It was a thing.
It was not a thing. What is this? They had had a boxing orangutan at a local fair that would beat the hell out of rednecks. It's every which way but loose, right? What Clint Eastwood? That was an
Yeah,
orangutan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right turn,
Yeah.
Clyde.
Yeah.
So you're performing tonight, Dave. Where you? Dave. Ron. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Dave. I'm sorry, Ron. Where are you tonight?
Tonight I will be at St. Pete Brewing in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Yeah.
Brewery. Now
Yeah,
we've got
I'll be
some
at
distilleries
I'll be at
open up
St.
here
Pete
that are.
Brewing.
Have you performed distilleries? They're like breweries, but it's harder. It's harder to drink, harder alcohol. It's distilleries. They're opening up here, and it's like 4 or 5 of them in the last couple of months here. New opportunities to play. We've had breweries opening up forever. Distilleries. Have you guys played distilleries?
I've done one or two.
Yeah, I may have done one. There was one like locally that I was trying to start a show at, but they didn't really have the space. So I don't know. I'm sure I will again at some point.
Yeah. Do you drink
I mean,
do you partake in the breweries? I have to try, and I'm not a drinker. So, like Friday night, I had a tap beer and I was drunk on one tap beer. Uh,
well,
but if I play a
so
brewery, I'm gonna try it, and then I'm gonna get drunk. So what?
so some of these breweries have Wood Grain Brewery was a place that used to do comedy shows. They haven't done them for like a year, maybe a year and a half. But a lot of these different breweries have some non-alcoholic brews, if you ask. But
Oh, really?
generally, you have to ask. Like, I had a
Yeah.
pineapple fucking drink at a brewery that was amazing.
I would never drink because to me, beer, even if I don't know, without alcohol, it's not really beer. It's just like, why don't I just fucking drink something?
Yeah,
Cranberry juice.
it's like a weird soda.
Yeah, it's
I
like
mean, yeah,
piss.
no, I mean, kind of, but
It's like drinking piss.
I
It's
don't.
not,
Again, we're
though.
gonna agree to disagree because I don't know what
Oh,
I don't know what
my
that's like.
Don't lie. Don't lie. We'll fucking get a lie detector test in here tomorrow and
oh my
hook it up
god!
to you. Uh, have
Hey,
you ever
listen, you
tasted
can put
urine?
me on the lie detector test, but I want to know the questions beforehand.
Did you ever take a lie detector
There's
test?
some
Any of you
answers
guys
no
ever?
one wants to know.
Did
Yeah,
you ever? You have?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I have.
Did you pass or fail?
Yeah.
I beat the fuck out of it. What about you,
Yeah,
Ron?
yeah, I passed mine too.
And
Mine
I was
was
lying my ass off. I was lying my ass off, and I passed. I beat it.
I've never had a lie detector test.
I told the complete truth and failed. I failed on my military question. The questions that said I failed on were 3 different questions about my military service, and I've never been enlisted. I never in any armed forces or anything like that, and that's where I failed on. And I tried to contest it. Like that, it's just ridiculous. You can check on these fucking answers.
Have you, by chance, did you like have a military career that you don't remember?
Could happen, but not to me.
Maybe you daydreamed about being a military man so much that your mind thinks you actually.
I never.
did.
No, I never would want it because my entire family were military, and I didn't. I avoided it like the plague. Like I didn't, and I don't think. Listen, I think having your dick drilled with a Black and Decker is an automatic. I don't think I'd pass the physical. I'd take one look at my dick and say, "You were in the Sears hardware department, weren't you?" So I don't think they would take me anyway. But yeah, so I took a lie detector and failed when I told the truth, and you guys both lied and beat
I
it.
lied, and now this was in this was part of a psychology exam. We were in this is in high school, and it was part of the psychology course, and we all had to, as part of the course, take the lie detector just so they can see how it works and stuff. And so what they did was they had me remove some money off the table in front of everybody, so everybody knew that I stole the money, that I taken the money. And then he started to question me about the money and did I take it? And I'm like, no, I never I didn't take the money, blah, blah, blah. And I went on and on for like 10, 15 minutes. And I never It's like they're like, I can't believe this. This guy's like, it's like a psychopath. He's like so cool, so calm. It's like we know he took the money, but he's just convinced the machine that he didn't.
So in other words, if we ask if you drank urine, you're gonna beat it anyway. So I'm not gonna use that as the way to prove to people that you're a urine drinker.
You could also just ask me and I'll tell you no.
No, but we don't believe you. With that chip on your shoulder, nobody's gonna believe a word you say anyway.
Yeah,
go ahead,
I had to take a lie detector because I worked at this restaurant and someone stole the petty cash, which was probably only like $60. Because this is like so long ago. I was like making $4.75 an hour at this restaurant, and
so the 90s.
Apparently, like someone stole the petty cash, and it was a big thing. And we actually had to go to the police station and do a polygraph. And I'm thinking to myself, it's like, is this even really worth the manpower and time over something?
Right,
like,
right.
So what did you lie about? If you didn't take the money, what did you lie about?
So it was pretty straightforward. You know, they asked you the normal questions like your name and shit. Then they're like, did you steal this or did you notice anything? And it's
so what did you lie about? What did you lie about though?
Did you ever sniff your sister's panties?
Yeah.
So what did you lie about, Ron? The statute of limitations is way over. You can tell us.
No, I didn't steal the money. I did not steal the money.
Yeah, but what did you lie about?
I don't know.
He knew.
What was it? Oh, wait! The lie detector just went off when he said, "I don't know." Did you see that? It just like went, "Wow, he's lying! He's lying! He's lying!"
Well, and the funny thing about that is, whoever stole that petty cash. But like then, fast forward later, I was working for this other company, and
you lied to them too.
The manager was he was a former career Navy guy, and he got fired because he got caught stealing the petty cash.
Wow.
That he was in charge of. He was just taking the petty cash.
The chief petty officer.
Yeah. Damn it, you beat me to it.
I know.
Yeah.
And at the time, he was probably making $100,000 a year, and he's stealing cash.
That sounds like a problem. So what did you lie about?
You're gonna keep harping on that.
A gambling problem.
He's not gonna confess.
Bless you, and good catch. And what did you lie about?
Yeah, just anal.
Anal. Oh.
My God.
Oh, okay.
My lie detector test was an employment thing. Now, it was 1978. I was applying to a job at Sam Ash. It's no longer legal to force people to take a polygraph test on a job application type of thing. But that's where mine was, for working for Sam Ash music stores. God, man, they must have had a lot of fucking theft going on.
I've never taken an actual lie detector test, but one time I was dating this girl, and her dad took me down to the basement and held me by the wrists and asked me a series of questions. And oddly, he looked a lot like Robert De Niro, actually, now that I think about it. And all right, anyway, that's not.
I did have a situation where I was the young lady I was dating. I did not know that her father used to be a Klansman. I don't know if he stopped. I don't know if he left the Klan or if they just changed their name. But he wanted to talk to me. Where the white women at? So
keep that thing away from me.
I thought we were going to do that in February, but that's okay.
Well, you just brought up Klansman. I had to.
I love that he took himself out so that he could make it happen.
Because otherwise he'd have to figure out how to position the hood over here.
Yeah, I can. I mean, I could, but not today. I don't have. I don't have Photoshop. Right, and I don't have Leo Numenar Mimo Luminar Normal Luminar Nemo. I don't have that open.
So what's your next tour, Ron? After Florida?
I'm thinking
I know you're doing Georgia on the way back, right? You're hitting Georgia on the way back?
Yeah, I'm gonna hit Georgia on the way back. The plan is to be home for the month of March because I got to get my car inspected and shit. I'm going to hit the Midwest, or I'm actually considering coming back to Florida in April because I met some promoters and things like that. So if I can line up some good paying shows in April, May, I might come back down here for that.
Good for you. Well, I highly recommend it. If you even not moving down there, just touring down there and doing as much work as you can down there. If it's good paying work and there's opportunities, seize those opportunities while you can. That's we're waiting on Brendan Walsh. He's not. I don't think he's doing a B-man anymore. Ian saying where's the B-man at? I don't think the B-man exists anymore. I think he's been put to death. We'll find out when Brendan gets here. Hopefully, he'll be here in a few minutes. Anyway, it's kind of time to get to that and get to some spots that I have to run for us, not for Willie, and hopefully we'll get to Brendan in just a second. Ron, thank you for being part of the show this morning. And good luck, and let us know. Come back soon, man. Make it a bi-weekly thing, or quite often anyway.
I'll call you, Ron. Call me.
Call Dave.
I'll call you.
Call him Dave.
I'll call you. GD, let me know.
I'll get a hold of you too, because.
Wow. What? Go ahead, Willie. I'll get a call.
What happened? Oh, I'll get a hold of you too, because there's a couple names I can give you. You're like I know I got a Fargo connection, and if you want to play Sioux Falls, I can definitely look at the name of who would book you.
Okay, for sure.
Because
I'd like that information.
Sioux Falls and Sioux City, I have connections in.
Be careful, because when Willie says book you, it means something very different.
That's right. You could wind up with a record.
Right.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, man. And it's good talking to you, Willie and GD. And if you're watching this and you're in St. Pete, come out to St. Pete Brewing tonight and come say hi. Come say
St.
hi.
Pete and check. Follow him on at Ron Kane Comedy everywhere where he's available, as GD likes to say. Thanks for being here, man. Have a great day. Bye for now. So looks like Brendan's here. Willie, did you have to drop off this morning? Willie?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. We're going to do a commercial quickly, and then we're going to hear from Brendan Walsh, who is patiently waiting in the background. So thanks. We'll talk to you later, Willie. It's time to play a commercial and then hear from Brendan. I'm taking.
Hey there, I'm Mr. Geronimo, product manager for Tracy's Dog. What is Tracy's Dog? Well, for $50, we send you a high quality sex toy right to your door. Yeah, $50. Are our toys any good? No. They're f***ing amazing. Yeehaw! Each toy is made with body-safe silicone. We are constantly evolving and innovating our product line. They are built for one thing, to shake your world with orgasms you ain't never seen before. Do you like spending $100 for your sex toy? 80 of it goes to retail. What about bumping into your family while at the sex toy shop? Good taste. Get the pleasure you deserve without broadcasting your secrets. And think of all the money we're going to be saving you.
I just want to point out that he says you like spending $100 on your sex toy. The turbo, the male ejaculator, the forced ejaculation tool is $139. So
because that's not a toy. That's not a toy. That's a device.
Yeah, that's their highest priced item on the website. So tracysdog.com, tell them Mind Dog sent you, and you're going to get a nice bonus. And by the way, if you live out west, you can order today and still get it in time to give to the wife tomorrow night. Not the ejaculator. Obviously, you're not going to give that to your wife. But there are ladies' toys that you can get. I mean, I wouldn't give my wife that for Valentine's Day, but you can still order one and get one in time. Brendan Walsh is here. Brendan is my favorite comedian of all time, and that's saying a lot. I mean, I don't even consider him just a comedian. He's an actor. He's an improv guy. He's a really creative guy, but he's also the number one request from the fans and the emails to have as a return guest, and he's kind enough to come back today. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say hello again to Brendan Walsh. Brendan, welcome.
Hey, what's up?
Good morning. It's nice and bright and sunny out where you are at early in the morning on Tuesday. Thanks for getting up and being part of the program.
Thanks for having me, man.
I just
comedian of
got
all
to
time.
say something. I just got to say something real quick, Matt. All those things you just said about Brendan, I
Yeah.
thought you meant those things. You said those things about me last night.
No, I would never say that about you. I am always very derogatory towards you. I am always very mean, and that's on purpose to try to keep your ego in check because I know it has a tendency to run away with you.
I would love to have a check from you. Go ahead.
All right. We'll get to that.
I'm sorry, Brendan.
Brendan,
No, that's fine.
Brendan didn't chime in to see us fight on this. He came in for me to celebrate him and share him with our audience. Now, when I wrote to you about 2 weeks ago, I said that some people emailed me in the chat room about the Yelp reviews that you had done. And the people there's a long thing where they were going back and forth, and people were confused about because they were going through Yelp and saying this is weird enough. You think Brendan would have written this? And I'm like, I think he had one account and it got banned. Are there still Yelp reviews from yours around on out there that under pseudonyms?
You know what? Yeah, I do. I started one with a lady. Hold on, let me see if I can figure it out.
Lady.
Yeah, she's a lady. Oh boy, let's see. Hopefully this is the right address. I didn't really get to. Oh yeah, here it is. Maybe do I give out her name? Wait, hold on. Let's see. Let me figure out what she's up to here. I haven't been.
Lady.
Lady, hey, nice lady. Let me see if there's a way to read all my reviews. I haven't. Yeah, it's. How do I read her fucking reviews? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. No,
You can say review. You can say review on the air.
Except if you're doing a Tracy's dog commercial, then you have to say they're fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Have you noticed that the sign on the back wall says "Make toys great again"? Like they weren't. Like when did they stop being great?
I think that a lot of their audience is probably Trumpers, and they're just taking advantage of.
Well, you know what? Now it looks like. Oh wait, reviews. Let's see here. Okay. Now there's one real one about this doggy daycare place. That's what it was. So I had these fake reviews, right? My original fake guy.
Yeah.
That I had. I don't know. I was just in the writing those reviews for so long. And then I guess, this guy really did piss me off. And I'm like, I need to leave a bad Yelp review for that guy. So I created a new account, and then I was like, oh, well, now that I have this new account, so then I changed everything to make it be this lady, because I figured, well, maybe that'll be like a new kind of, a new take on these Yelp reviews. I'll have it from a woman's point of view instead of the guy. Because the last one was like,
he was going to sex parties and hooking up with trios.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. He did there was a speed
online sex. Yeah, speed dating.
And there was a bird one. Yeah, that there's a lot of good ones with that guy. I forget what his name was. Ted Radcliffe, maybe. I don't remember.
That was it. Yeah.
Was it Ted Radcliffe?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a couple here. Well, there's a couple here from Lori. If you want to hear those.
Yeah, why not?
Or we can talk too. I didn't know if you just came to watch me read off a screen.
Actually, I have a question. As long as you're doing Yelp reviews, I have a question that I usually ask other comedians. You've been doing this for a while. So what is the worst smelling place you've ever performed and the best smelling place you've ever performed?
Well, let me just say before you answer that, TD, I know you're very Italian, but when you talk with your hand, that's when we get the breakup. Try to. Yeah, yeah.
I don't
You
know.
get.
You're breaking up.
Yeah, you're breaking up.
So I'll try not to use. I'll try not to move my hands. Damn it.
I don't know if it's the hands. I think there's just a bad connection somewhere.
Yeah, wire or
No,
something.
it's when I move. I think somehow. Let me see. See, my mic is actually here. If I tucked it away, it wouldn't affect stuff.
This is reminding me of the Roger Stone thing from Not Even a Show, and Brendan. It was like every time.
Yeah. Man, you're monitoring me.
I am. I'm a huge fan of yours, and all the stuff you do, I think, is just like extremely creative and different. And like people think, if I say that means not funny, because usually when you say, "Oh, comedians being so brave," man, that means it's just not really funny. He's just out there like doing stuff that doesn't make people laugh. But I think you get bored with just stand-up comedy, and you do stuff that is very different than other comedians do, and it's still funny. And there's a trick to that, to being out there and bold and trying new things and still keeping the funny in it. So
well, thanks, man. That means a lot. Yeah, Not Even a Show. He posted. I think he posted like a super cut of all the pranks that we've done.
Right.
And that show, I don't know if people aren't familiar with it. It's this guy Chris James in Canada, who he gets like political people running for political office to come on these fake web shows that he creates, and then just messes with them. Doesn't even let them get any talk about whatever platforms they have, and. Yeah, we've done some funny ones. We had Roger Stone on, which kind of was a bummer because I read something about like swinging or something, but then it turned out his wife has cancer, and I don't know. It was like, I think Chris might have edited some stuff out because it was like, we looked it up and we were like, oh shit, his wife's sick. And we were like talking about I was talking about swinging.
Yeah, that's not in it. He definitely edited that out. I didn't even think about that part, but
I shouldn't have even. Yeah, and it's like, all these people they're still people, I don't want to really like, I don't like,
mean. You're not a mean guy.
It's not using who though.
Whoever wants to be that guy. That's just not. I don't need that kind of baggage.
Yeah.
But there's one, because then we kept upping it. Like I just wanted to. He's like, "Hey, do you want to do something?" And I was just thinking of like a funny scenario on my end, because like I always played like his like producer who was like stupid, and and one of the main gags is like, I think my mic's not working and I can't hear them. So I'm just like talking shit about them or saying dumb shit. And so I just wanted to make it crazier and crazier. And one time we had a guy on, and I'm Vern or whatever, I forget the guy's name, the producer, and I can't hear them or see them. And I go, oh, and then I'm at the top of my stairs, and I show I flip the camera. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Oh, wait, my package is here. And then I fall down the stair, like, it's the camera just going all crazy. I'm tumbling, and then it's just like on my face, like, like laying on the ground. And the person that, that made, not to sound like, a total softie, but that made me feel a little bad too, because like, obviously I can hear everything. And the guy sounded pretty concerned that he's like, oh no, I think he might be hurt. But my favorite one that we did is because I just kept wanting to raise the bar on stupidity, and I got a rubber hand. I was like, well, maybe it'd be funny if I'm doing like a cooking show, but while I'm waiting to do your thing, and so I rigged up this whole thing, and it wound up working perfectly. But I'm chopping vegetables while I'm like, okay, well, I have to finish up the cooking thing before we get to your show, Chris. Like you booked this last minute, and then the guys, he has the guy on that he's going to mess with, so they can both see me, and I'm kind of just like half paying attention, like yeah, and I'm chopping, and I had this rubber hand, a fake hand, and I chop, into my arm, and I rigged up this like water bottle with fake blood, and just blood started. I go, my hand! I chopped off my hand. I chopped my whole hand off while cutting vegetables for this thing. But yeah, that's not even a show. I don't know what, but he put together like, we did like 6 or we've done a handful of those. So
yeah,
he's got
the thing, because Stanhope, when he was on with Jesse Waters, said he should have consulted with the king of pranksters, Brendan Walls. And but the prankster stuff, you can't tell somebody how to do. Yeah, that has to be come naturally to you, because I can't prank for shit, and I know I can't prank for shit. But the other part of that is your timing is so perfect. Like, that's got like an improv thing, knowing exactly when to chime in and say the exact point at which to say, "Yeah, I'm off the air," and "No, you're not." But all those things, it's like, how do you get that? Is that from improv?
Like, I guess, I mean, isn't that the key to comedy though? Timing? No, I think that's just, you just have to like. I think that's kind of intuitive, right? I don't know.
I don't know
I
either.
think a lot of, I think everything's intuitive, like, there's, to be like a professional athlete, there's a certain amount of training and stuff, but I think that you're born, you're kind of gifted.
Right. Yeah,
there's certain things that you just kind of have. And there's like
a wheelchair.
Like a wheelchair.
Yeah. Well,
if you want to be murder ball player.
When monkeypox first came out, I tried to prank a pet store, and and somebody immediately in the chat room said, "Oh, you're trying to do Brendan Walsh." It's like, "Oh, well, man, I'm not even going to try now. You set the bar too high for me."
Well, I mean, I don't have a patent on messing with people, and and the whole prankster kind of moniker is like, I don't know, man. I feel like that's not. I don't know. I don't feel. I feel like that's a little. I don't know. I don't.
But yet, maybe it's not in the works anymore. This Taskmasters thing, it will only serve to enhance your reputation as a prankster, right? The Fox.
Yeah, that's the idea, is that they'll just be like crank calls, like crank anchors, but in a more scripted kind of way. Not that the calls are scripted, but like crank anchors, it's just these individual kind of just like vignettes of the calls.
Right.
So this the guy Johnny Ryan, the cartoonist that I'm working with on it, he and I were just we've been kicking around ideas for a while of just like these really I've never laughed so hard writing stuff with someone, but like everything we write, we're just like, where is this? Nobody's going to put this on TV anywhere, like we wrote this one thing that I keep going back to because it was just so fun. It was just called Public Toilet Family. And it's about a family that lives in a public restroom because they inherited, I forget that there's some kind of inheritance, like their grandfather died and he owned this like building, but like only left them the restroom part of it, so they live in there. And but either way, yeah, Johnny and I always thought it would be I had never seen before like a scripted, like a show where there's crank calls in the within like the story, so they like kind of drive the story, or it's like they make sense in the script. I guess there was a show called Dog Bites Man.
That sounds
on
familiar.
Comedy Central.
Yeah.
I had like Zach Galifianakis and AD Miles, Matt Walsh, and it was like a news team out of Seattle. They were, but then they would go out into the real world and like kind of mess with people.
Right.
And I thought that was brilliant. It was great, and it didn't last. I think it only did one season. And what I had heard from, I think somebody at Comedy Central, when I was pitching them or whatever, when I was dealing with something, I mentioned the show, and I was just like, why, that show was great, and everybody on it was great, and it's just so funny. And they said, yeah, people just they didn't understand it. Like they didn't know when like the fake stuff stopped and the real stuff started. So just like, it just didn't make sense to people because they thought like they just thought the whole thing was like scripted, but it's like obvious when they're out in the street doing like a weird thing.
Well,
yeah,
that is your bugaboo. I don't know bugaboo. The thing, Brett Erickson once told me, we were talking about you, and I said, I never know when Brendan's serious or not. And he said, never take Brendan seriously on anything. And then, and I know he didn't like Jackie Martling because I had him on the show with Jackie Martling. He was being really disrespectful to him. And then I saw you post that thing about Jackie, and I was like, I don't know if he's serious about this or not. If he's seriously like a Jackie fan, or if he just hates him as much as Brett does. All that was going through my mind.
Brett was like rude to Jackie when
he was calling him a incompetent, angry Joe Biden wannabe.
Why was it? Wow, that's weird. I don't know.
I don't know. You never know with comedians. People get whatever. Yeah. But I'm like confused now because first I saw you post that thing about Jackie and I was like really excited. Look, Brendan Walsh is sharing Jackie's stuff. This is really cool.
Yeah.
And then I was telling Jackie that. As I was telling him that, he said, I just got an email from him. And I said, it's like, that's really cool. I was like, well, wonder if he would have you on his show and all that. And then I'm like, I shouldn't even do this because Brendan's just fucking with me now. And I'm fucking with Twitter in general. Yeah. And I'm falling for it again. And that's why I wrote you that. I don't know if you were goofing on him or not. And you said you weren't, and you were truly a fan.
No, I mean, I grew up listening to the Howard Stern show. I grew up in Philadelphia, and that's the first place they syndicated to, and so yeah, there's definitely I don't know, reverence or whatever for him. Like I'm not, I mean, Jackie was kind of like his role on the show too. He was kind of the butt of a lot of jokes and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
But no, yeah, it was a weird series of events. Like I went to this theater with my kids. They were doing like this kids show on a Sunday morning, and on the marquee it said that Jackie was going to be there in a week or two, and actually I was going to be out of town when he was there, so I couldn't go. And then I looked at either way, and I looked at the I looked at the tickets or something and I saw that it wasn't sold out. And I was just like, well, I'll try to help him out and just do a tweet and see. And then when I did the tweet, the photo, I mean, Jackie has to, whatever, he's a 70-year-old guy or whatever.
76, so, I think he is.
Okay. Yeah. And I mean, it's kind of obvious with his email addresses and just kind of the way all the
AOL.
Yeah, AOL. And it's like, oh man, you need to get like some young kid in here, like somebody in their 50s to kind of update everything. And I saw that, on the photo that I tweeted on Twitter, it said like, because I guess on Twitter now it shows like when you post a picture, there was like information on it and it said April 14th, Jackie Martling. So I assume it was like, maybe they just used some old template on whatever thing website builder and forgot to change the date, because it was right on when you clicked on it and went to the site, the date was right, but just that either way. So so I was like, well, I went to his contact page and just say, hey, just so you know, this site, the date's messed up. So that's probably why it's not fucking sold out.
Yeah.
And, but no, I'm glad that you reached out, because it didn't even occur to me to even ask him to come onto my podcast, and that was a real kick for me.
He's a really good guy, but the point I was making was that you have painted yourself into this position where you could scream fire in a crowded theater if there really was a fire, and people would just say, it's just Brendan, there's no fire, sit down.
Yeah,
he's
maybe. I don't know. I mean, I guess. I mean, I feel like it's a little inflated, the whole, like I just like having fun and I've. Yeah, but I mean, the whole like prankster, it's not like I'm constantly running around like, oh, okay, I'm going to put fake dog shit here and I'm going to shake this guy's hand and there's going to be a joy buzzer and I'm going to call someone and tell them their house is on fire. Like, it's just, I just like, I mean, honestly, and I probably talked about it last time, it started with, the billboard stuff in Los Angeles and it all stemmed from like, moving out here and and it's like comedy is like a real business, and you know, I'm having meetings about like every idea that I had, and I just kind of wanted something for myself. I was just like, you know what, it'd be funny if I added a guy to that billboard, and you know, just whatever, and just did that just kind of as like a juvenile, like, all right, run away laughing, and it's like that's not something that I'm going to have a meeting about. Like, okay, let's talk about this vandalism you're doing. So
Right.
how do we turn that into a show? And it's like, we can't. It's illegal.
Believe me. And when people respond to your tweet, well, you're not as active on Twitter as you were during the pandemic, but during the pandemic, you had a thing where a guy's coming, you're a gun dealer, and the guy's coming over, and you end up shooting him or something like that. And I got like 15 people. Did you see that? Brendan Walsh selling guns? I was like, God, it's Brendan Walsh, man. Come on.
that was visors, because I started, one of the things during the pandemic I started doing was buying vintage like visors, you know, like
golf hats without a hat.
Because there's this reservoir that I walk around, like, you know, like this guy here, 84 Olympics. This is a good one. I have a couple of these. But yeah, so like I'm not a hat. I have like a big head and like baseball. I feel like I look stupid in baseball hats.
Yeah.
And so I would wear visors when I would walk around the reservoir here. And I like going to record stores and thrift stores and stuff like that. And obviously you couldn't do that when we weren't allowed to leave the house. So I kind of just like shifted that, you know, collecting, going to record stores thing. I was like, oh, I'll look at cool visors. I'll get like cool visors on eBay, and you know, like a $15 limit. You know, they couldn't be that much, and so I just started buying those, and then my friend Vic Berger, who he does like videos, and he's on Tim Heidecker's podcast, the Office Hours thing, and he makes all these crazy videos. I don't know if you guys are familiar.
I just watching him last night. Yeah.
So he's like, I guess he was like, you know, felt like he was balding, or I don't know. He's like, oh, well, I'm like going bald or whatever. So I've been like looking for certain different hats. I think I'm going to do the visor thing too, or whatever, which was funny because then I created competition for myself, because I'd be, you know, he'd be like, hey, I got that like Kodak visor or whatever. So I was like, shit, I was looking at that. I was thinking I'd offer for like $1 less than he was asking for. So then like I had all these, either way, yeah, that's Vic and I in that video. And the thing is, I have there's visors laid out on the table, like kind of like a underground gun selling thing. But then I do, like, you know, he's looking at the visors and trying them on, and then at one point I like pull out a gun and we're like, ooh, we're just kind of playing with it, and then he like shoots the camera by accident.
People think that's serious. It's like, why would he put a video of himself doing illegal activity if it were real?
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah,
people did that for January 6th and a bunch of other places. So that's just it. People post themselves. Yeah.
Well, I guess I don't.
I had. What about this for an idea for a prank? And you can have it if you think it's viable. There's a homeless guy. You pull up next to him with a box, like you're moving in, like your new neighbor, and you put the box next to his box. You introduce yourself to how I'm gonna be your new neighbor. Somebody pulls up. They drop like a moving truck, and they drop off your stuff. Maybe somebody delivers you food. You know why? Like an Uber comes by and Uber Eats, and they deliver food to you while you're moving into your new neighbor.
Yeah.
Now, why didn't you share that with me? I didn't see that one. You got to send that to me. I didn't see that.
I know. This is an idea.
Oh.
I'm saying now.
Yeah.
I want to know if it's viable, or do you think the homeless guy would like try to steal your food or something? You know,
well,
it's something territorial. I don't know.
I had, you know, I did.
Afraid of a little bit of work, man. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, you know, you got to get furniture and stuff. I mean, I get it. That's
no, because homeless people, just shopping bags full of nothing. You know, you drop off like just your stuff. You know,
your wire is really really bad, man. Yeah, I didn't know that was an idea you were sharing. I thought it was like something I missed. Sorry about that.
Maybe if you just take the mic off, maybe if you use just your computer mic, that might work better.
I don't want to get the echo thing going. I can do this. At the risk, if I lose y'all, I'll just come back in. Let's try this.
All right, that's fine.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Before we get, because I know time is of the essence. I mean, I don't have a full hour with this here, but
whatever, we could do whatever. I know I was a little.
All right, cool. Moving out to LA, you mentioned being out in LA. Are you used to the earthquakes yet? Because last week there was an earthquake there, and everybody takes it in stride. I had one here that shook me for about a week, and it was minor compared to LA standards. Have you adjusted to that? Or are you like a regular LA guy with, just another earthquake?
I mean, it's something that's always in the back of my mind. Like, I pretty much avoid elevators if it's less than 4 or 5 floors. I'm always I have like prepper shit. I mean, it's not even like loony prepper shit, but it's like, I was a Boy Scout for a little while, and be prepared, I think, is the best thing that they teach you. And
the natives out there they just take it in stride, like we take a rainstorm or a slight snow snow flurries.
Well, I mean, the earthquakes, it's not very common, and I mean, but it's like you rationally it's like, well, there's probably going to be a bad one at some point in your life, and but I don't know, man. It is kind of weird to have that hanging over your head, but it's a nice place to live though too. I mean, it's like the weather's pretty nice. Like, I just went up to Big Bear with my kids a couple weeks ago, and it is cool. I mean, I know it's like cliche, but it's like, we're like down here at 70 degrees and California, and then actually it was like kind of rainy. Which is why we went up to Big Bear, because Amanda was like, it's snowing up there. We should take the kids up so they can play in the snow, because they don't know snow. And so you drive 2 hours and then you're playing in the snow, and then you come back down and you could go to the beach the next day. And so it is like, there is that. And and then if you want to just kind of goof off and like not have a real job, there's a lot of opportunities to like live off your ideas a little bit.
That's definitely there is more opportunity for that.
But God's shaking you to death is always hanging over your head. So
I mean, I was talking about this yesterday morning on the show, where I was in a barn, which is a studio barn, a video studio barn, and the whole barn went sideways for a second and stood right back up. This was like 10 years ago, and I was sick for a week over there, physically sick and like really nervous about that stuff.
You're helpless. I mean, it really puts things in perspective of how like insignificant you are when. I mean, I haven't had any bad ones here, but the first earthquake I ever experienced was in Eugene, right outside of Eugene, Oregon. I was like 19, just kind of traveling around and staying with my buddy that I knew from high school, who was living out there, growing pot, like in the woods outside of Eugene. And I mean, this is like 25. This is a long time ago. But we were hanging out in he had like, I mean, I guess essentially it was like a trailer, but it was one of those, like, I didn't, know it was a trailer. It was like a nice little house, but I guess it was like a trailer. And everybody had gone to bed. And it's funny, it was like, this is how long ago it was. Cause I think it was like Conan O'Brien had just taken over the late.
Wow, that's 30 years. 30 years ago.
Yes. I was like 18 or 19, and everybody had gone to bed. I mean, it was like him and his girlfriend. I think that maybe there was one other dude there. So either way, but I was in the living room watching TV, and I think it was like right around the premiere of Conan taking over the Tonight Show, or the late night, and the house it just started shaking. And the first thing I thought was, because we were like we were like in the woods, like we were close to Eugene, which is already a small town, so it was very, very woodsy. And my first thought was, oh shit, there's a bear like jumping against the house. Like, that was just, I thought it was like a bear pushing against. I mean, I don't know. It's just like you're like, and then I looked at the mantle and saw everything kind of like, shaking off of it. And then I was like, oh shit, and like stood up, like, well, what do I do? Like, it's like there's a doorway over there. You stand in the doorway, and then it stopped. But that was actually a pretty big one. It was like a 5-point something. But yeah, that was
they're scary as shit, man. No doubt about it.
And then yesterday, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, you sound a million times better now.
Cool. Okay.
But you look ugly.
Well, that's a different headset. Yesterday, I was telling Matt about I was working on a lady's roof, and an earthquake occurred while I was on the roof. The whole house is shaking and everything. So I come down the ladder, and I go into the house, and the lady looks at me, and she goes, "Did you do that?"
Yeah, wow. You don't really jump to
earthquake.
Yeah, I mean, there was one the other day, a little one. I mean, yeah, man, I mean, no pun intended, but it shakes you up. It's like, and there's this little office that I rent one day a week so I can, I have 2 little kids here. So I'm actually at home now, but it's hard for me to get anything done.
Are they your kids?
They're just kids off the street. I don't know how they got in here, but I don't know. LA has weird laws about exterminating them, so you kind of just have to deal with them. I think they got in. There's like a hole in one of the screens.
Damn Gavin.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Either way, I was in my office just on Friday, and there was like and the thing is, they're just like, it was just a like, it's just like it is. It's like it feels like, oh, would a car just hit the building or something? And you're like, oh no, it's just a earthquake, and then you kind of just are clenched up.
People
like,
run to Twitter and post videos of it, and it lasts for a second. Like, it doesn't last long, but that's the first thing people do now. No matter what, it's like I got to go to Twitter and post this on Twitter. It's like, man.
Well, hopefully, I'm not here when I don't know. Hopefully I don't have to deal with any kind of catastrophic thing, because
I didn't mean to put any bad mojo on you. I'm sorry about that. Let me not.
Well, have you always been a West Coast guy, or did you live like in another place before there?
I grew up in Philadelphia, and then I moved around a bunch. Like I said, I stayed with wound up staying, I mean, not super long, but I think I was out there for 6 months in Eugene with my friend, and went and lived in Ireland for a little while, and then Amsterdam for a little bit. And then I moved to Austin, and was there for about 10 or 12 years before I moved out here 15 years ago.
So. Were you a Philly fan? I mean, an Eagles fan growing up?
Yeah, I mean, everything,
Are you still an Eagles fan now? I know you do. You just wrapped up the football picks with Stanhope, that thing. But are you still an Eagles fan? And did you pick them this year? Or
I mean, I did up until I saw when they lost to the 49ers, when everything started. I mean, the whole season, I was like, this is going to start falling apart at some point. I've been a Philadelphia sports fan long enough to know that they're just heartbreakers and losers. And when they lost to the 49ers, I mean, they got killed by them. I realized, they said, you know what, this is it. I don't think they're going to win another football game for the rest of the season. And I made more money betting against the Eagles in the last 5 games of the season than I did betting on anything else up before it. And I'm not like a heavy gambler, well, you see the thing, it's like $10, $20 bets.
Yeah.
You maybe like lay out $100 a weekend on games, and generally, you wind up breaking even, basically. I mean, it's all about, but it's a fun hobby.
Yeah, my father was a bookie.
Yeah, okay.
In the 60s and 70s, and he had some referees and some players who bet with him, but he would never accept bets on games that they were involved in. But he swore that betting, that the NFL was fixed in some way or rigged, and the refs were in the pocket. Now with online gambling, there's a big controversy and there's a lot more calls that are like, what the hell was that? Are you conspiracy theorists on that level as far as games being fixed?
Oh yeah, no, 1,000%. I mean, any $1 billion a year industry, if you can rig it in a certain way. Like, I mean, the whole Taylor Swift thing, and where it's like, well, they're gonna. I mean, even though that was one of the most boring fucking Super Bowls I've ever seen in my life, but I mean, it does. I feel like it is scripted to a certain extent. I mean, the referees, and I point that out too, where it's like, you have all this fucking technology. You got that yellow line painted across the field every down. You got these cameras fucking flying overhead. You got like all this shit showing like all these stats. And then when a guy gets the ball and runs, it's just handed to some fucking guy in a striped shirt who just spots it wherever. And then if they want to see if he has a first down, they grab a fucking stick with a chain. And it's like, what are you fucking, like, you guys have like laser, like, what are you doing? Of course it's fucking rigged, or else they would have more efficient ways of ruling these things. And then when you see a call, where it's just blatant, like there was that Saints game, like, I don't know, what it was 4 or 5 years ago. It was a playoff game, and it was like clear, I forget what it was. It was like clear pass interference or not pass interference, and he called it. But either way, it's like every game there's a call by a referee where 90,000 people in the stadium, everybody saw the opposite of what he's saying.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, that happens like multiple times a fucking weekend, and also, and it's like, these holding, just let holding be legal, because all these fucking linemen, you could call holding on any fucking
on every play. You can call holding on every play.
And the refs just like, if they need to move a team up the field or keep a team back from going, it's like, I mean, you watch games where it's just like, okay, roughing the passer, okay, encroachment or something, and they can move a fucking team 60 yards up the field with penalties, and then get them within field goal range. So it's like,
well, roughing the passer, roughing the passer. Roughing the passer.
That's roughing the passer. That's a euphemism for jacking off, I think.
Roughing the passer. That was like, that depends on the quarterback whether or not you roughed them, because there was the Brady rule, the Manning rule. Yeah. Those guys who got roughed up. But
Mahomes, like if you look at Mahomes wrong, they fucking call roughing the passer. But then
the guy from North Carolina, Cam Newton, shoot him with a gun.
Yeah,
and it'd be like, come on.
Yeah. That's that it is crazy, and whatever. It's like, okay, these guys are getting concussions and stuff, and these quarterbacks are like basically a fucking injury. Like you saw what happened with Aaron Rodgers. He blew out his fucking Achilles, and then there goes the Jets' whole season. So it is important to keep these guys, to not let these, these other animals just fucking try to take their heads off.
Though the Jets have to find creative ways to lose. They just can't lose the ordinary way. So the Jets, they just can't lose the way most losers lose. They have to lose in a whole new losing way.
Yeah.
So,
well, there's that, but it's, I mean, I get the, the whole kind of protecting the quarterback a little bit, but you do watch. But again, then it's just like, it's up to like the ref's discretion, where it's like, well, that there's just too many ways to fix these games to a certain extent, and the fact that these holes aren't plugged up says to me that of course they're gonna fucking, like, they do want, like, are they gonna not let Taylor Swift win the Super Bowl, essentially? I mean, it's like, the ratings have probably been in the fucking toilet for the past. They're like, okay, well, let's get this whole Taylor Swift thing going, which who knows what's going on with her. I mean, I don't think she exudes any type of sexual energy or anything. Like, the fact that she's like, always has like a boyfriend and going through some thing, and it's like, I don't see any kind of, I can't picture those two fucking,
And I think it would be more interesting if the Chiefs lost, only because then we'd have the footage of her, what she has to do to cheer up Travis Kelce. He's all.
Or would they break up the next day, right? Break up the next day.
Now he won. He won. He's already happy. There's nothing she could do to make him unhappy. She could give him a bad blowjob, and it's fine.
Yeah.
But if he lost, what does she have to do? It's like, oh, come on, Travis. What's it gonna take to make you happy? So it would have been more interesting TV had they lost. Now, true, I was rooting for the Chiefs as opposed to the other team, the Niners. So I was happy with the outcome. Yeah, I was happy with the outcome, and I was also on the pins and needles because I wouldn't know the Chiefs with like 3 seconds left to go or 20 seconds left to go. So I was on pins and needles at that point. But
yeah, I mean, it wound up being, it was only the second Super Bowl to go into overtime or something. So, it ended up, I guess, with a little bit of drama. I could have used another half a fucking point.
Oh yeah, right. Well, that's the thing. And my father used to talk about this. My father was a madman about some of this stuff. But one of the guys who was involved in, he got killed. He got whacked because he was involved in fixing point spreads. It's just perfectly working out like 1 point things. And that's like a really difficult thing. You have to be really. Involved in figuring out play by play where we're going to fix it. So I would think you'd have to be communicating with the refs in order to cover the points where it'll make it go the way you want. Which makes
or they just get they get a script, some version of a script before the game, and it's just like, okay, don't this
like
can't
wrestling.
Go over 40. Yeah, I mean, more or less, where it's like, yeah, this is gonna keep it close, and this can't go over 48 points or 47 points. Of course, I think it, you can only control it so much. There's going to be some wild rookie guy or whatever, like, I don't think, obviously all the players can't be in on it. All these players are idiots, and they can't, and they want to football players. So
and they can't be trusted to be in on it.
No, I mean, somebody would have blabbed by now.
Yeah.
Somebody would have screwed it up by betting on their own team or having their wife bet.
Yeah, which probably goes on, but yeah, no, there's something, and with the, I mean, aside from like the whatever kind of scripted or rigging there is in the game, I mean, it's just like you have these supercomputers now too that just run like 100,000 simulations of the game, and then it's just like, well, it looks like it's probably going to be, somewhere in the neighborhood of 35 to 14 or whatever. So then it's, they said it goes, okay, well then the over under should be set at like 46 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then and it's like, oh, it's most probable this team's going to win, and they'll probably win by about 5 points. I mean, of course it, works out differently sometimes, but a lot of times it's pretty much on the nose, Like, I mean, half a fucking point yesterday.
Yeah, half a point.
That's because the guy in Vegas, he actually planned that ball to hit the Niner on the foot, so the ball would bounce. that was like so scripted. I was like, I can't believe they were able to pull that off.
I missed that part. I kind of left a thing. I shifted venues yesterday in the middle of the game because it was so fucking boring. But I mean, these missed extra points and shit too. Like that was another, it was blocked. But I mean,
that was critical. That is so Vegas. Like that one point.
Yeah.
Means that moves that needle, betting needle. Like,
well, there's no overtime. There's no overtime if he made that extra.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a lot of these things are
unless the Chiefs went for 2 at some point. If the Chiefs went for 2 instead of an extra point at one of the touchdowns, then maybe.
Now I'm confused here because you didn't watch a game all year long, but you seem to know every play of the Super Bowl. It's like you weren't into football for whatever 18 weeks, and now all of a sudden you know every game in the big.
I haven't been in football for years. I can't stand watching it because there were rules when I used to play, and it seems like they're all sissies now. I can't take it. And I don't like watching injustice. I don't like watching cheating. I don't like watching people who are like that rich being millionaires and billionaires and
all right, calm down. Go have a drink. Calm down.
No, you got me. No, damn it, no.
Here.
Something today.
Is that legal in New York now?
It is, and it's very weird because the black market is doing better because it's legal here. Because
why does it have to be a black market?
All right,
you can't go one show without being
criminal market. Yes, a criminal market. We'll call it that. the illegal market is doing much better than the legal dispensaries. Even though one day I counted $10,000 cash being spent at the dispensary in 3 minutes, and I was doing the math on what that means per year since they're open 7 days a week, 10 hours or 12 hours a day. It's enormous what the dispensaries are doing.
Well, but the government
Brandon,
takes a big
9,000
part.
of that was his. $9,000 of that was his.
Yeah,
It's not like he's doing a lot of heavy math.
$9,000 worth of weed.
No, I don't know, because the cash, but they don't do. You can't play with your card. It's got to be all cash. So I am definitely of the idea that the states are taxing it, but they're not getting as big a chunk as they should.
Yeah, it's like waitresses and their tips. Yeah, I don't know. Somebody was just talking about that out here, where it's just kind of like, yeah, it's a real ball busting. Like, you obviously, the dispensaries do a booming business here, but yeah, I think it's the amount of taxes and regulations, and they keep it to where it's like it's not the biggest cash cow that you would think it would be because of all the taxes and stuff. But I don't know. I'm not involved with that.
Yeah, I just, what, if it's going to be legal, then we should be getting some tax benefit from it, just community-wise. Like, this is the whole point of making it legal. Otherwise, it was working fine with the criminal element before.
Well, they probably, there are some benefits. You see your tax dollars go. They probably paint a pot leaf and a peace sign on one of these bombs that we drop on fucking Gaza or whatever. The Cheech and Chong sponsored fucking missiles.
But you also have more variety. Let's put it, okay. I haven't bought pot in a very long time, but when I was in my youth and I used to buy pot, there were only like 4 kinds. There was Acapulco Gold and 3 other kinds. I can't.
Mexican, Colombian, Thai stick. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. There was like 4 kinds, and now there's like 1,900 different kinds, and they're tailored to the mood you want to be in. Like, do you want to sit and have conversations with your in-laws and smoke this? Do you want to sit and have and listen to your cat and be amazed by playing with the ball of yarn? Smoke this.
Yeah. So I don't know how we got on the pot. Oh, because I told you to calm down.
You're giving a joint.
Well, yeah, because he was getting a little emotional.
It's actually, I have this in my desk. This is my favorite
Silver Haze
strain, which I really don't even touch this stuff at all anymore.
Yeah.
But this has always been good for like writing and stuff like that. That's always that's helped. That's been good for me. But the paranoid, I have like I have a pretty fragile kind of fucking head. So
yeah, I do too. But
it's a crapshoot for me to.
It is a window of inspiration sometimes, and that for creativity.
Inspiration, but then the possibility. It's kind of like the earthquake analogy, but it's like kind of not worth it. Where I'm like, okay, 3 out of 5 times it'll be fun to watch a movie or fucking write some stuff or whatever. But then that other 2 times, you're just signing up for 6 hours of fucking horror, and it's just kind of not worth it. Like the amount of good times that I have really doesn't outweigh that one. The chance of it's like yeah, it's fine when you're high, walking your dog, listening to the fucking Tron soundtrack by fucking Daft Punk or whatever, and that's fine. But like, it's not so fine that I'm gonna risk like having a few hours of just real hell in my head and paranoid thoughts and reevaluating everything I've ever fucking done. And,
Yeah. We only have a couple minutes left here with you. So, but you just mentioned music now. I get to, first of all, you play guitar, right? Or do you not play guitar? Is that like air guitar or something?
I can play guitar as much as the next guy, but not. Yeah, I'm not.
I get the impression you're like a metal guy. No, or we just lost GD there for a second.
No, I went through everything. Like metal was kind of the first thing that I got into when I was a kid. Like discovered Motley Crue with my friend Jerry in Philly, and went through all the hair metal stuff when I was like young, and then I remember a kid on the bus going to school gave me the Metallica's Master of Puppets because the Guns N' Roses Appetite for Destruction album was kind of a big turning point because it was like, oh man, this is like, I thought there were two singers, you know, because he sang different, you know.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, this is like kind of like fits into that genre, but this is like a little more dirty and